The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the Zarkonian vessel, stars twinkling like distant beacons in the night. Captain Selthor stood on the bridge, his four eyes scanning the holographic displays that surrounded him. The ship, sleek and advanced by most galactic standards, had been cruising smoothly for the past 3 solar cycles. "Status report," Zelthor barked, his tentacles twitching with impatience. His second-in-command, Vrila, glided over on her hover pad. "All systems nominal, Captain. We should reach the Andromeda trading hub in." A sudden jolt rocked the ship, cutting off Vrila's words. Alarms blared, and red lights flashed across the control panels. What in the name of the Great Void was that? Selthor demanded, steadying himself against his command chair. The ship's engineer, Kraz, frantically tapped at his console. "Captain, we've lost power to the main drive. The quantum flux capacitor it's gone haywire." Zelthor's skin changed from its usual calm blue to a worried purple. The quantum flux capacitor was the heart of their faster-than-light drive. Without it, they were stranded in the middle of nowhere. "Can you fix it?" he asked, trying to keep the desperation out of his voice. Kraz's eye stalks drooped. I'm not sure, Captain. This technology is beyond even my expertise. We need a master engineer, and fast." The crew exchanged worried glances. They were carrying a shipment of rare Zarkonian spices, worth a fortune on the galactic market. Being stranded here not only put their lives at risk, but also threatened to bankrupt their entire trading guild. "Options?" Selthor asked, looking around at his crew. Vrila cleared her throat. "Well, Captain, there is one possibility. It's a long shot, but out with it," Zelthor snapped. "I've heard rumors of a repair station not too far from here. It's run by humans." A collective gasp echoed through the bridge. Humans were known throughout the galaxy as a young, unpredictable species. Some considered them primitive, others dangerous, but there were also whispers of their incredible adaptability and problem-solving skills. "Humans," Kraz scoffed. What could those monkey descendants possibly know about advanced Zarkonian technology? Vrila shrugged her upper shoulders. "It's just a rumor, but they say these humans can fix anything. Ships from all over the galaxy go to them when all hope seems lost." Zelthor pondered for a moment, his decision-making glands working overtime. The idea of trusting their fate to humans seemed absurd, but what choice did they have? "Set a course for this human repair station," he finally ordered. "Use auxiliary power if you have to. We can't afford to be stranded here." As the crew scrambled to obey, Selthor gazed out at the stars. He'd heard stories about humans, their short lives, their constant wars, their primitive technology. But he'd also heard tales of their incredible ingenuity, their ability to think outside the box, whatever that meant. Hours passed as the crippled ship limped towards its destination. The crew worked tirelessly, trying to keep vital systems online. Just when it seemed they might not make it, a faint signal crackled through their comms. "Unidentified vessel, this is humanity's Hope Repair Station. We've detected your distress beacon. Do you require assistance?" The voice was strange, alien, yet somehow reassuring. Selthor took a deep breath and responded. "This is Captain Selthor of the Zarkonian trade ship Stellar Wind. We've suffered a critical failure in our quantum flux capacitor. Can you help us?" There was a brief pause, then the human voice returned, filled with what sounded like excitement. "A quantum flux capacitor malfunction. Oh boy, we haven't seen one of those in ages. Bring her in, Captain. We'll have you fixed up in no time." As the repair station came into view, a sprawling, chaotic-looking structure that seemed to be cobbled together from 100 different ship parts, Selthor felt a mix of hope and trepidation. "Well," he muttered to himself, "here goes nothing. Let's see what these humans can do." Little did Selthor know that this encounter would not only save his ship, but also change his view of humans, and perhaps the galaxy's view. forever. As the Zarkonian ship Stellar Wind limped towards humanity's Hope Repair Station, Captain Sulfur and his crew watched in amazement. The station was unlike anything they had ever seen before. It looked like a giant metal octopus, with docking arms stretching out in all directions. Ships of various sizes and designs were attached to these arms, some familiar to the Zarkonians, others completely alien. "By the cosmic egg," whispered Vrila, her eyes wide. "It's chaotic." Zelthor nodded silently. The station seemed to defy logic, with parts that didn't quite match and additions that looked like afterthoughts. Yet, somehow, it all worked together. A human voice crackled over the comm system again. "Stellar Wind, this is Dockmaster Chen. Please proceed to Arm 7. We're sending you docking instructions now." Following the surprisingly precise instructions, Selthor guided his ship towards the designated arm. As they got closer, they could see small figures moving about, humans in spacesuits working on the exterior of other ships. With a gentle thud, the Stellar Wind docked. The crew let out a collective sigh of relief. They had made it. "Well," said Selthor, straightening his captain's sash, "let's go meet these humans." As the airlock cycled, Selthor, Vrila, and Kraz prepared themselves for their first face-to-face encounter with humans. The inner door slid open, revealing two figures waiting for them. The Zarkonians froze, taken aback by the humans' appearance. They were shorter than expected, with only 2 eyes and arms, and strange fur on top of their heads. One was darker in color, the other lighter, but both wore identical blue coveralls with patches that read "Humanity's Hope." "Welcome aboard," said the darker-skinned human, smiling widely. "I'm Chief Engineer Aisha Kamara, and this is my assistant, Igor Volkov." Zelthor blinked his 4 eyes in rapid succession, then remembered his manners. "Greetings. I am Captain Zelthor. This is my second-in-command, Vrila, and our ship's engineer, Kraz." Igor stepped forward, holding up a strange device. "Mind if I take a quick scan? Just standard procedure to check for any harmful bacteria or radiation." Kraz bristled, his spines rising slightly. "Are you implying we're dirty or dangerous?" Aisha quickly intervened. "Not at all. We do this for everyone, including ourselves when we come back from off-station trips. Safety first, you know." Zelthor nodded, impressed by their caution. "Of course. Please proceed." As Igor ran the scanner over them, Aisha consulted a datapad. "So you've got problems with your quantum flux capacitor, eh? Nasty piece of work when it goes wrong. But don't worry, we've seen this before." Kraz's eye stalks perked up. "You have? But how?" "This is advanced Zarkonian technology." Aisha grinned. "Oh, you'd be surprised what we see here. Last week we had a Glorkshan battle cruiser with a busted tachyon inverter. Week before that, a Merxian pleasure yacht with a scrambled probability drive. We love a good challenge." The Zarkonians exchanged looks of disbelief. These humans seemed so casual about dealing with technology that should be far beyond their understanding. "All clear," Igor announced, putting away the scanner. "Now how about we take a look at your ship?" As they walked through the docking arm towards the Stellar Wind, the Zarkonians couldn't help but stare at the flurry of activity around them. Humans of all shapes, sizes, and colors rushed about, carrying tools and parts they didn't recognize. In one bay, they saw a human arguing with a floating gas bag creature over what looked like a bill. In another, a team was reassembling what appeared to be a living ship, its biomechanical parts pulsing softly. "This is unexpected," Vrila murmured to Excelfor. "They seem so primitive, yet they're working on technology from across the galaxy." Zelthor nodded, still trying to process everything he was seeing. "Indeed, perhaps we've underestimated these humans." As they reached the Stellar Wind, Aisha cracked her knuckles, a sound that made Kraz wince. "All right, let's see what we're dealing with." Igor grabbed the quantum spanner and the flux modulator, and maybe the temporal wrench, just in case. Kraz's curiosity finally overcame his skepticism. "Excuse me, but how exactly do you plan to fix our quantum flux capacitor? It took our best scientists decades to develop this technology." Aisha's eyes twinkled with excitement. "Well, my tentacled friend, that's the fun part. We're going to figure it out together. You see, at Humanity's Hope, we don't just fix ships. We learn, we adapt, and sometimes we improve. Now, shall we get started?" As Aisha and Igor entered the ship, tools in hand and eyes bright with the thrill of a new challenge, Selthor realized that this encounter might be more than just a simple repair job. It could be the beginning of something much bigger. As Aisha and Igor entered the engine room of the Stellar Wind, the Zarkonian crew watched with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. The space was filled with humming machinery and pulsing lights. The heart of their advanced starship lay bare before these strange humans. Kraz hovered nervously near his beloved engines. "Please be careful. This technology is very delicate and—" "Holy cow!" Aisha exclaimed, her eyes widening as she took in the complex array of machinery. "This is gorgeous. Look at that quantum matrix, Igor. Have you ever seen anything so elegantly designed?" Igor whistled appreciatively. "It's a work of art, Chief. But I think I see the problem." He pointed to a small, pulsating crystal at the center of the main console. Aisha nodded, her expression turning serious. "Good eye. The flux is off by about 0.03%. No wonder you folks were having trouble." Kraz's eye stalks quivered in disbelief. You can see that. But how? Our own diagnostic systems didn't pick up such a minute discrepancy." "Well," Aisha said with a grin, "sometimes you need a good old-fashioned human eye. Now let's see about fixing this beauty." What followed was unlike anything the Zarkonians had ever seen. Aisha and Igor moved with a strange mix of precision and what seemed like reckless improvisation. They consulted complex equations on their datapads one moment, then whacked a stubborn piece of machinery with a wrench the next. "Hand me the quantum spanner, Igor," Aisha called out, her upper body disappearing into an access hatch. "Here you go, Chief," Igor replied, tossing the tool with casual accuracy. Zelthor winced, expecting the delicate instrument to shatter, but Aisha's hand shot out of the hatch, catching the spanner without even looking. As the humans worked, they kept up a steady stream of chatter, discussing theories and possible improvements. To the Zarkonians' surprise, they frequently asked for input. "Hey Kraz," Aisha called out, "what's the normal operating temperature for this plasma conduit?" Kraz, startled at being addressed, quickly replied, 5,000 degrees Kelvin, plus or minus 10 degrees. Aisha mused, "What do you think about bumping that up to 5,500? It could increase your power output by at least 15%. Kraz's mouth gaped open. But that's not possible. The conduit would melt." Igor chimed in, "Not if we reroute the excess heat through this auxiliary cooling system. Look." He quickly sketched out a diagram on his datapad and showed it to Kraz. The Zarkonian engineer stared at the design, his brilliant mind racing to keep up with the implications. That's ingenious. But where did you learn to do this?" Aisha shrugged, her hands still busy with the repairs. "Oh, we picked up a few tricks here and there. Last month we had a Volcran ship in with a similar setup. Got us thinking about heat management in quantum systems." Hours passed, but the humans showed no signs of tiring. They worked tirelessly, cracking jokes, singing strange songs, and occasionally arguing over the best approach to a problem. The Zarkonians watched in amazement as their ship was not just repaired, but improved in ways they hadn't thought possible. Finally, Aisha emerged from the engine housing, her face smeared with grease, but wearing a triumphant smile. "All right, folks, I think we're ready for a test run. Kraz, would you do the honors?" Kraz approached the main console hesitantly. He input the startup sequence, holding his breath as the engines hummed to life. The ship vibrated gently, then settled into a smooth, quiet purr. "By the cosmic egg," Kraz whispered, his eye stalks quivering with emotion. It's perfect. Even better than when it was new." Selthor stepped forward, his skin shifting to a deep blue of gratitude. We don't know how to thank you. You've done the impossible." Aisha waved off the praise with a grease-stained hand. "Ah, it's all in a day's work. Though, if you don't mind, we'd love to study your engines a bit more. We could learn a lot from your designs." Vrila, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "You mean, you want us to teach you? But you've already shown such incredible skill." Igor laughed. "Of course. That's the beauty of it. There's always more to learn, more to improve. That's what keeps life interesting, doesn't it?" As the Zarkonians looked at each other, a new understanding dawned. These humans, with their strange ways and incredible adaptability, had not just fixed their ship, they had opened up a whole new universe of possibilities. Zelthor straightened up, making a decision. "We would be honored to share our knowledge with you. Perhaps we could start a cultural exchange program." Aisha's face lit up with excitement. "Now you're talking. Just wait till you try our coffee. It'll really get your tentacles tingling." And so, amidst the humming of a perfectly tuned quantum flux capacitor, a new chapter in galactic cooperation began. The stellar wind glided smoothly through space, its engines purring with newfound efficiency. Captain Selthor stood on the bridge, all four of his eyes fixed on the view screen as the last glimpse of humanity's Hope Repair Station faded from view. "I still can't believe it," Kraz muttered, his tentacles tapping away at the engine console. "Our ship has never run this well, not even when it was brand new." Vrila nodded in agreement. "Those humans are something else. Who would have thought such a young species could be so ingenious?" Selthor turned to his crew, his skin rippling with a mix of blue gratitude and green excitement. "Indeed, and we have a duty to share this discovery with the rest of the galaxy." As the stellar wind continued its journey to the Andromeda Trading Hub, Selthor composed a message to the Zarkonian High Council, detailing their encounter with the humans and the remarkable repairs made to their ship. Little did they know, their message was just the beginning. At the Andromeda Trading Hub, a massive space station where thousands of species came to barter and exchange goods, the crew of the Stellar Wind found themselves the center of attention. "Is it true?" a Blorksian merchant asked, his gelatinous body quivering with excitement. "Did humans really fix your quantum flux capacitor?" "Not just fixed," Kraz boasted, his earlier skepticism now replaced with pride. "They improved it. Our power output is up by 15%, and our fuel efficiency has increased by 22%. Word spread quickly through the hub. Alien species from across the galaxy gathered around the Zarkonians, eager to hear about the miracle workers at humanity's hope. A Vraxian ship captain pushed her way through the crowd, her exoskeleton clicking nervously. "But humans are so primitive. How could they possibly understand our advanced technology?" Zelthor raised his upper limbs for silence. "Friends, I once thought as you did. But these humans have a gift. They see problems in ways we cannot. They combine knowledge from different species, creating solutions we never imagined." As the Zarkonians shared their story, more and more ships began to plot courses for humanity's hope. The repair station, once a quiet outpost on the fringes of human space, soon found itself overwhelmed with visitors. Back at the station, Aisha wiped sweat from her brow as she emerged from the engine room of a Mrixan star cruiser. "Igor, we're going to need more hands. The waiting list is getting out of control." Igor nodded, scrolling through a datapad filled with repair requests. "I've already called in every engineer we know. But look at this, Chief. It's not just broken ships anymore. We're getting requests for upgrades, consultations, even joint research projects." Aisha's eyes widened as she read through the list. A Goldraxian quantum computer. A Shorak wormhole generator. This is incredible. As the humans scrambled to keep up with the sudden influx of alien technology, the news continued to spread. Subspace channels buzzed with chatter about the miracle workers at Humanity's Hope. Even species that had long looked down on humanity began to take notice. In the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council, representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered for an emergency session. The Volcran ambassador, a being of pure energy, pulsed with concern. This is unprecedented. Humanity was barely a blip on the galactic radar, and now they're revolutionizing our most advanced technology. Perhaps, the Zarkonian representative interjected, we have been too quick to judge. These humans have much to offer our galactic community. Debate raged in the council chamber. Some saw the humans as a threat to the established order. Others recognized an opportunity for growth and collaboration. As the council argued, more ships arrived at Humanity's Hope. Aisha and her team worked tirelessly, fixing, improving, and learning from each new challenge. One day, as Aisha took a rare break to gaze out at the fleet of alien ships docked at the station, Igor joined her. "Did you ever imagine it would be like this?" he asked, handing her a much-needed cup of coffee. Aisha shook her head, a tired but satisfied smile on her face. "Never in a million years. But you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way." As they watched, a new ship dropped out of hyperspace, a massive vessel unlike anything they'd seen before. The comm system crackled to life with a message that would change everything. Humanity's Hope, this is the Galactic Council flagship. We request permission to dock. There is much we need to discuss about humanity's future in the galaxy. Aisha and Igor exchanged looks of surprise and excitement. Whatever came next, one thing was certain. Humanity's role in the galaxy would never be the same again. Dr. Zixloria, a renowned Centaurian scientist, floated gracefully through the bustling corridors of Humanity's Hope. Her crystalline body shimmered with curiosity as she observed the controlled chaos around her. Everywhere she looked, humans and aliens worked side by side, tackling problems that had stumped the greatest minds in the galaxy. "Fascinating," she murmured, her thoughts resonating in the telepathic field around her. Simply fascinating. Zixloria had come to Humanity's Hope on a mission. The Galactic Science Academy had tasked her with uncovering the secret behind human ingenuity. How had this young, seemingly primitive species become the go-to problem solvers for the entire galaxy? As she approached the main research lab, she was greeted by Dr. Emily Chen, the station's lead scientist. "Welcome to Humanity's Hope, Dr. Zixloria," Emily said with a warm smile. "We're honored to have you here." Zixloria pulsed with appreciation. "The honor is mine, Dr. Chen. I must admit, I'm quite eager to begin our research." Emily nodded, leading the way into the lab. "Of course, we've prepared everything as you requested. But I have to ask, what exactly are you hoping to find?" The Centaurian scientist's crystalline form sparkled with excitement. "The source of your species' incredible problem-solving abilities. There must be something. A unique brain structure, a special gene, perhaps even a connection to some unknown cosmic force." Emily chuckled, shaking her head. "Well, I'm not sure about cosmic forces, but we're happy to help you investigate." Over the next few weeks, Zixloria immersed herself in her study of humanity. She scanned human brains, analyzed DNA samples, and observed countless problem-solving sessions. Yet the more she learned, the more puzzled she became. One day, as she watched Aisha and her team tackle a particularly tricky repair job on a Vexillian phase shifter, Zixloria's frustration bubbled over. "I don't understand," she exclaimed, her crystalline form vibrating with confusion. "Your brains are not significantly different from other mammalian species. Your DNA, while unique, shows no signs of artificial enhancement. How do you do it? How do you solve problems that have baffled the greatest minds in the galaxy?" Aisha looked up from her work, grease smudged across her forehead. "Do what, exactly?" Zixloria gestured wildly with her energy tendrils. "This, all of this. You're repairing technology you've never seen before, improving designs that took other species centuries to develop. It's impossible. The human engineer smiled, putting down her tools. Is it? Let me show you something. Aisha led Zixloria to a quiet corner of the lab, where a group of young human interns were huddled around a holographic display. Watch, Aisha said softly. The interns were working on a simulation of a draconian warp drive. As Zixloria observed, she noticed something strange. The humans weren't following any set protocol. They argued, made jokes, tried ridiculous ideas, and even intentionally caused the simulation to fail in spectacular ways. What are they doing? Zixloria asked, bewildered. This is no way to conduct serious research. Aisha's smile widened. Isn't it? Keep watching. As the Centaurian scientist observed, she began to see patterns emerging. Each failure led to new ideas. Every joke sparked an unexpected connection. The arguments forced each intern to defend and refine their theories. Suddenly, one of the interns shouted in excitement. They had discovered a way to increase the warp drive's efficiency by 200%, using a combination of techniques that no one had ever thought to put together before. Zixloria's crystalline form pulsed with astonishment. How? How did they do that? Emily, who had joined them, stepped forward. That, Dr. Zixloria, is the secret you've been looking for. There is no special gene, no unique brain structure. Our ingenuity comes from our diversity, our creativity, and our willingness to fail. Aisha nodded in agreement. We humans have a saying. Think outside the box. We don't just accept the way things are. We imagine how they could be, even if it seems impossible. And we're too stubborn to give up, Emily added with a laugh. When we fail, we don't see it as the end. We see it as a step towards success. Zixloria's mind raced, trying to process this new information. But that's so inefficient. Illogical. Maybe, Aisha shrugged. But it works. And more importantly, it's something anyone can learn. As the implications of this revelation sank in, Zixloria realized she had discovered something far more valuable than she had ever imagined. The secret to human ingenuity wasn't some innate superiority. It was a mindset, a way of approaching problems that could be shared with the entire galaxy. For the first time in her long life, Dr. Zixloria felt a very human emotion, excitement for an unpredictable, ever-changing future. The news of humanity's unique problem-solving ability spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Humanity's hope was flooded with visitors, from curious scientists to desperate ship captains seeking repairs. But not everyone was thrilled with this turn of events. In the opulent chambers of the Xarjan Empire, Emperor Zlog slammed his tentacle on the floating holo display, causing it to flicker. Unacceptable, he bellowed, his scales turning a deep purple with rage. These humans are disrupting the natural order of the galaxy. We must do something. His chief advisor, Vex, slithered forward cautiously. What do you suggest, your luminescence? Zlog's eyes narrowed. If these primitive apes can fix anything, so can we. We'll build our own repair stations, bigger, more advanced. We'll show the galaxy that the Xarjan Empire is still supreme. And so began the great galactic competition. Across the stars, advanced civilizations rushed to open their own repair stations. The Xarjans built a massive, gleaming structure called Xarjan's Pinnacle. The Aetherian Collective created a living station that could adapt its shape to accommodate any ship. Even the reclusive Quantarians emerged from their subspace domain to establish the probability nexus. At first, business boomed for these new stations. Many species, still wary of the young human race, preferred to trust their ships to more established civilizations. On humanity's hope, Aisha watched the whole news with a mixture of amusement and concern. Looks like we got some competition, Chief, Igor said, munching on a synth apple. Aisha nodded, her brow furrowed. Can't say I'm surprised. But I'm worried about where this might lead. Competition can be healthy, but this feels different. Her concerns were not unfounded. As the competition heated up, tensions began to rise. The Exarchans started spreading rumors about human incompetence. The Etherians hinted that their organic technology was superior to primitive human tools. The Quantarians claimed their probability-based repairs were 99.9% more effective than guesswork human methods. Despite the smear campaigns, ships kept coming to humanity's hope. The humans' reputation for innovative solutions and their willingness to tackle any challenge, no matter how strange, kept them in high demand. One day, a massive Exarchan battlecruiser dropped out of hyperspace near humanity's hope. Its captain, Zlurks, looked decidedly uncomfortable as he hailed the station. "This is Captain Zlurks of the Imperial battlecruiser Undying Glory. We require assistance." Aisha raised an eyebrow. "Welcome, Captain. What seems to be the problem?" Zlurks's scales rippled with embarrassment. "Our main propulsion system has failed. The Exarchan's pinnacle couldn't fix it. Neither could the other stations. You're our last hope." As the massive ship was towed into the repair bay, Aisha and her team got to work. The problem was unlike anything they'd seen before. A complex interaction between the quantum drive and the ship's unique organic metallic hull. For days, they worked tirelessly. They consulted with Exarchan engineers via subspace, brainstormed with Etherian biotechnicians, and even brought in a Quantarian probability analyst. It was a galaxy-wide effort, coordinated by the innovative humans. Finally, after a week of non-stop work, Aisha emerged from the engine room, exhausted but triumphant. "It's done," she announced to the anxious Exarchan crew. "We've not only fixed the problem but improved your propulsion efficiency by 30%. Captain Zlurks was stunned. "But how? Our best engineers couldn't solve it." "How did you do it?" Aisha smiled tiredly. "We did it together, Captain. We combined Exarchan quantum theory, Etherian biointegration techniques, Quantarian probability models, and a bit of human creativity. No single race could have solved this alone." As the news of this collaborative success spread, the tone of the galactic competition began to shift. The Exarchans, Etherians, and Quantarians, initially embarrassed by their failure, soon realized the potential of cooperation. Emperor's Log, in a surprising move, called for a galactic engineering summit to be held at humanity's hope. "We have much to learn from each other," he announced, his scales now a humble shade of blue. Aisha looked out at the diverse crowd of aliens and humans working together in the station's main hangar. She turned to Igor with a grin. "You know it," she said. "I think this competition might just turn into the biggest collaboration the galaxy has ever seen." Igor nodded, tossing her a synth apple. "Leave it to humans to turn a space race into a team sport." As they watched, a new ship arrived at the station. A joint project combining technologies from a dozen different species. The galactic competition had evolved into something far greater than anyone had imagined, and humanity was at the heart of it all. 5 years had passed since the first alien ship limped into humanity's Hope Repair Station. In that time, the galaxy had transformed in ways no one could have predicted. The Galactic Engineering Summit, once a desperate attempt to catch up with human ingenuity, had become an annual event eagerly anticipated by species across the cosmos. This year, it was being held on Earth itself, a symbol of humanity's new status in the galactic community. Aisha Kamara, now the head of the Intergalactic Cooperative of Engineers, ICE, stood on a stage in front of a sea of diverse alien faces. Holographic displays allowed billions more to watch from every corner of the galaxy. "Welcome, friends," Aisha began, her voice calm but filled with pride. 5 years ago, we were strangers. Today, we are partners in the greatest technological renaissance our galaxy has ever seen." The crowd erupted in a cacophony of cheers, clicks, whistles, and telepathic pulses of joy. Aisha continued, "Together, we've achieved what none of us could have done alone. We've cured diseases, terraformed dead worlds, and even begun to unravel the mysteries of dark matter. She gestured to the diverse group of beings on stage with her. But our greatest achievement isn't a device or a discovery. It's this: our unity, our shared spirit of exploration and innovation. As Aisha spoke, ships of all shapes and sizes filled the skies above. Once, they might have been a cause for alarm. Now, they were a testament to the new era of galactic cooperation. In orbit, the massive form of humanity's Hope 2.0 gleamed in the sunlight. No longer just a repair station, it had grown into a sprawling complex of research labs, engineering bays, and cultural exchange centers. It was a symbol of humanity's new role, not conquerors or rulers, but innovators and problem solvers. Back on the stage, Zelthor, the Zarkonian captain whose distress call had started it all, stepped forward. His skin rippled with blues and greens of joy and gratitude. 5 years ago, my ship limped into a small human repair station, he said, his translator conveying the emotion in his voice. I thought I was desperate. Now I know I was lucky. That day changed not just my life, but the course of galactic history. Dr. Zixloria, the Centaurian scientist who had uncovered the secret of human ingenuity, floated forward. Humans taught us that the key to innovation isn't just knowledge, but how we approach problems. Their think-outside-the-box philosophy has revolutionized every field of study. Even Emperor's Log of the Tarjan Empire, once a fierce competitor, now stood proudly alongside the humans. We thought we could outdo humanity, he admitted, his scales a humble shade of blue. Instead, they showed us the power of collaboration. The Exargian Empire is stronger than ever, not through conquest, but through cooperation. As the speeches continued, scenes from across the galaxy played on the holoscreens. Humans worked alongside aliens on distant worlds, solving problems and pushing the boundaries of science. In universities, human exchange students shared their unique perspectives, while alien professors marveled at their students' creative solutions. But it wasn't just about technology and science. Human art, music, and culture had spread across the stars, blending with alien traditions to create new forms of expression. Alien tourists flocked to Earth to experience the planet's diversity firsthand, while humans eagerly explored alien worlds. Aisha stepped forward once more. We stand at the dawn of a new age, she declared. An age where the challenges we face are opportunities to grow, to learn, and to come together. An age where the question isn't, can we solve this? But how many amazing ways can we solve this? The crowd roared its approval. In that moment, it didn't matter if you had skin or scales, breathed oxygen or methane, or came from a planet with 1 sun or 3. All that mattered was the shared excitement for what the future might hold. As the ceremony ended and the crowds began to disperse, Igor appeared at Aisha's side, grinning widely. Not bad for a species that was barely spacefaring a few decades ago, huh? He said, offering her a celebratory cup of coffee. Aisha laughed, taking the cup. Not bad at all. But you know what, Igor? What's that, Chief? She looked out at the diverse crowd, her eyes sparkling with excitement. I think we're just getting started. And as the earth turned beneath them, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter, beckoning humanity and its new allies towards a future filled with endless possibilities.